Good morning, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. It is Monday morning. If you're watching us live, it is Monday morning, May 24th. Monday morning, May 24th. And just waiting for the notification to go that I'm live here. I think that just popped up. And yep, no locations here. People should be tuning in. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. It's a beautiful day here in New York. I'm back in the Hudson Valley, back at the restaurant. I am back here and back yesterday. And we had a busy weekend here. The staff did a fantastic job. Our team did an amazing job here at the restaurant. So it was great. Let's see, some things coming up. Good morning, everybody who's tuning in. If you are tuning in live, just drop a comment, hashtag live, or if it's on the replay, hashtag replay. And if you can always let us know where you're tuning in from, that's awesome. Joel, thank you. Joel's in Arizona. Hashtag live Arizona. So, good morning, Mary. So, Jamie and I had an amazing weekend in Martha's Vineyard. First time there. Amazing weekend. A bunch of friends of ours signed up for a race for the half marathon there, and they ended up canceling it, or they ended up postponing it. A lot of them still had rooms, and they were like, well, we're still going. So we're like, yeah, let's go. Let's have a great time in Martha's Vineyard. So first time there. Hope to get back there. Jamie and I did a lot of biking with our friends, and we ran every morning, and saw a lot in Martha's Vineyard, ate a lot, and got out there. So can't wait to go back and bring my own bike. Jamie and I want to bring our own road bike so we can pedal around the island. We rented bikes. So good morning. Hi, Deb. Hi, Deb. How's it going? Deb, hopefully we can hook up and talk today if you have a chance later on. That'd be fantastic. Jamie and I just had a super busy weekend. Martha's Vineyard when we last spoke last week, Deb. So meant to give you a call. Let's see. So tonight's wine dinner's in the garden, hopefully. Fingers crossed in the garden, weather holding out. 4 wines and a dish, $29. Got some really awesome wines lined up. Some of them are new wines. Let's see. Yeah, new wines. Some new wines that are in. So really exciting about that from all over. A couple from Italy, a couple from all over. So that's exciting. 4 wines and a dish. What are we doing tonight? We're doing a porcini chicken risotto, something like that, a porcini chicken risotto. Next week's the beer dinner. We're going to do like a nice mussel dish with the beer. I think blue cheese mussel. My friend Angelo in Newton, Connecticut makes this amazing mussel dish that's in like a blue cheese sauce. And every time we go to past his restaurant or go to his restaurant in Connecticut, we stop in and get that dish. So I'm going to recreate that dish next week for our beer dinner. So that's the story with that. Beers are next Monday night. Wines are tonight, hopefully in the garden, weather permitting.
Next Monday is Memorial Day.
Not next Monday, the week after. Okay, sorry, folks. I've got it mixed up the week after. Jamie just walked in and corrected me. Thank you, Jamie.
Not the next wine dinner is the 7th. The beer dinner is the 14th.
14th of June. 3 weeks away for beer, folks. Sorry about that. 3 weeks away for beer. I was a little ahead of myself. All right, so Did I Cook It is the title of this. Did I Cook It? So over the course of years here, 18 years here, if you come into the restaurant, obviously I'm a trained chef. I opened the restaurant. When we opened the restaurant, I was in the kitchen for the first couple of years. I was chained to the stove, literally chained to the stove, and the restaurant couldn't operate if we weren't here. I remember going to a wedding and having to close, going to my best friend's wedding from high school and having to actually close the restaurant because there were a couple things. We just didn't have staff because I didn't trust staff at the time. I was chained to the stove, and if I wasn't chained to the stove, the restaurant wasn't operating. And one day, I met a gentleman who become very, very friendly with, who owns about 30 restaurants. And one day he came in, and I couldn't come out to see him until I was done cooking. And I sat down with him, he looked at me, and we're talking, catching up, and he goes, Marcus, I own at the time he only owned 12 or so restaurants. He goes, I own 12 restaurants, and you work harder than I do. And it dawned on me, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm stuck to the kitchen. I would go to the chiropractor because when I stand in the kitchen, I was always looking one direction to the left because that's the way the tickets would walk in the kitchen and the waitstaff food would go out. And the chiropractor always knew. They go, Marcus, we can totally tell that you're alwajust your neck's in one direction like this. and it was my neck would hurt and my back, and I'm stuck in the kitchen. So Jamie and I said, you know what? He has a great point. Like, being stuck in the kitchen sucks. Like, not being able to open the restaurant when you're going away to your best friend's wedding from high school because you don't trust anybody to open the restaurant sucks. And Jamie and I started empowering and putting trust in people at that point, and I decided that it was time for us to get more staff in the kitchen and for me to work with them but not be stuck in the kitchen. So I transitioned out of the full-time chef in the kitchen. That was our first 3 or 4 years open, like the full-time chef. And I still wear a chef coat, and I'm still in the kitchen here and there. But it's funny because people will say to me if I don't have a chef coat on, or if I have a chef coat on, they'll say to me, oh, I could tell you cooked my meal just by walking around the restaurant in a chef coat. Because a lot of times I wear a sports coat. So I will walk around in a chef coat, and people look, oh, you cooked my meal tonight. It was really great that you cooked my meal tonight. I could tell the difference when you cook my meal and you don't cook my meal. And honestly, I probably didn't cook any of your meals. I don't cook that much in the kitchen. I jump in the kitchen, I help out. Michelle, our chef, she was out 2 weeks ago, and I was in the kitchen cooking all weekend because she was out. She's taking some time off. So when she takes time off or someone else says, yeah, I will jump in and I will run the kitchen and do that. But if I have a chef coat on, I'm still probably not cooking your food. But it's the perception of people seeing me in a chef coat that just triggers something like, well, yeah, oh my gosh, like, you must have cooked this tonight. So it must, like, I'm the authority. Like, they know that I'm the figurehead and the authority. And it's that perception of the authority person that just makes things better to begin with. Story just that recently happened. We weren't here. And somebody ordered chicken wings, and they knew we weren't here. And the wings came, and they said, these are terrible. They're not cooked. They're raw. They're not cooked. And then they ordered something else. And so Courtney went over to the table and says, I'm sorry, this and that. The guy asked actually to see a manager. I need to see a manager. So Courtney went over to the table and started talking to this person. And he was like, I'm sending these pictures to Marcus. And I know Marcus, and he wouldn't want this being served and this and that. Meantime, we smoke our wings for 3 hours ahead of time. The wings are cooked before we even put them in the kitchen to recook them. So he was like, where's Marcus? I need to speak to a manager. I'm going to send these pictures to Marcus. So Courtney went to the table, and she was, can I help you? And basically, who are you? Well, I'm Marcus's daughter. Oh, you're Marcus's daughter. Oh, wow, everything is fantastic. Everything's amazing. Everything's great. Just the point that it was our daughter, and she's the authority person here as well. And he ate everything on his plate and kept going and said everything was great. Tell Marcus everything was wonderful. It clicked like that in like a split second. Like, well, I'm family. I'm the daughter. Like instead of just like some supposedly other regular person. So it's funny how our brains work to recognize, and Jamie and I teach in that book right behind you there, in that 50 Mistakes book. There's a bit of psychology marketing there. I love psychology marketing. When we coach other restaurant owners, we teach a lot of, or any other business owner we teach psychology marketing, and I've talked about this before. You create the authority, become the expert, and less people question you. It sometimes doesn't even matter what you say. I thought, and the first time that this so-called phenomenon happened to me, I was doing salmon speeches, talking. I would go to gyms and wherever and talk to anybody about. I would go anywhere, and I still will. If you're in the local area, within 30, 40 minutes from here, and you have a group. And you need a speaker for something, I will come speak. I don't typically charge for stuff on nutrition and things like that. I will come speak. I will educate people about salmon or about real food. I think it's super important that somebody needs to be out there educating, and I'm more than happy to do that. So I'll be happy to go to any organization and talk about real food, especially salmon. So I'd go talk about salmon, and I'd put a couple business books in the back, just to have, because I wrote a couple books. So, but I talk about health foods and salmon, and people are like, I want to buy your book. I'm like, well, it was not what I just spoke about. Like, I spoke about salmon, and that's a business book. Oh, I want the book. I'm like, oh, what business do you own? Oh, I don't own a business. I'm like, you want my book? They're like, yeah, I want your book. And I couldn't understand why people kept buying my book that was off topic it was totally off topic. And then when I started studying Charlie Munger's psychological biases of buying, how the brain is easily tricked into buying. 25 things that tricks the brain into buying, because the brain is lazy. It's a primitive brain. We take shortcuts all the time. Somebody said to me, Marcus, you've established yourself as an authority. And once you establish yourself as an authority, they will buy anything from you like that. Like, that's just like, you could sell socks. And because you're authority on wild salmon, farm salmon, if you put socks in the back, they'd buy socks from you because you're the authority, and they want, that's just the way it works. I was like, gee, huh? So that's when I got into the psychology marketing and started including that in our teachings with other restaurant owners. So Anthony's saying his dad gets that too, right? So Anthony can totally relate to this. Anthony grew up in the restaurant industry as well. We got to get back over there for the wood-fired pizzas. Anthony's father has a great restaurant down in Wurtsboro that does amazing. It's Wednesday nights, and we're free on Wednesday nights, so we like to go there a couple times a summer and get pizzas. Sit out in the garden. But Anthony can probably totally relate to that. So, so I do, Jamie and I do work. We work a lot. Like I've been here since I didn't go to bed till 1:30, and I've been in this office since 6:15 this morning. Deb says her son gets it. Deb, your son owns a restaurant, is a chef. Just remind me, Deb, exactly about that and where it's at. So, and Thursdays too, Anthony, in the Guard there pizzas. I didn't know that. That was just Wednesdays. Thursdays too. Awesome. We need to get over there soon. What was I saying? So, Jamie, what was I saying? Do you know where it was going? Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So, the psychology marketing is really, really cool.
How when people see you.
Yeah. So I didn't go to bed till 1:30 in the morning. I was in my office here by 6:30 working. I've done a lot of work already. A lot of menu proposals for groups and stuff for the Airbnb. So I work, and I tell my staff when we hire them, the team members, say, your job is to like cut the carrots, your job is to grill the steaks, your job is to that. My job is to make sure you get your paycheck. And if I don't market the restaurant, and if I don't manage the restaurant, I don't manage the finances, Jamie and I don't do that, you don't get a check. So that's my job. You do your job very well, and I'll do my job very well, and you'll keep getting your paycheck. 18 years, we've not missed a single. I've missed a paycheck as the owner, but we've never missed a paycheck to our team members, and we've not missed a paycheck once. Sometimes we're a day late because of holidays, but we've never missed a pay period or had to even borrow money for something like that. So that's but I mean, I've gone a long time without a paycheck, and when you run a business like this, sometimes we live here at the building now, so the paycheck's not as important as paying a mortgage to a separate house and things like that. It was one of the best things we ever did, was move into our building. Really a game changer. So it's allowed us to pay our staff more. Because it's a tough industry to really pay staff. It's a really tough industry to pay staff, which is why wait staff really relies upon tips to make a living. That's what they rely upon themselves. They rely upon tips. And then the kitchen staff, for what the kitchen staff does, you just can't afford to pay them what they're really truly worth, because they bust their butt in the kitchen. And like this weekend, I just handed extra money to my key people. Like, here, thank you. I appreciate Jamie and I being able to go away for the weekend. Really appreciate being able to go away for the weekend and not getting phone calls and this and that. But it's all about empowering your staff. But it's funny that people think, because I have a chef coat on, that I'm the one that cooked their meal and it must be better. That's the authority bias at work, and we all don't realize it. And I teach this stuff, and I still fall for it. There was a time in New York City a few years ago where I was actually going to the restaurant show, on my way to the restaurant show, to actually do the speech on psychology-based marketing. And I was on our way to the show, and we're hungry for lunch. Jamie and I parked, and we're like, let's just grab lunch somewhere. And we were walking up and down, looking at menu after menu after menu after menu at the restaurants on like 2 blocks. And all of a sudden, I saw a Michelin recommended restaurant sticker in the window. It said Michelin recommended. And I said to her, let's go in here. It's Michelin recommended. That's the authority, the association bias, the authority bias. They had 2 biases going on for them, right? They were associated with Michelin, and Michelin has the authority on food. So two biases grabbed me like that. We didn't barely look at the menu. We walked in, we ate, and we're like, we would never come back here. Like, this is like, the food wasn't like we thought. Didn't meet our expectations. We're like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good food, especially if it had that Michelin logo on the outside. And it wasn't a rated like Michelin, like 1 star, 2 star. It was just Michelin recommended, which is the lower level. But the association bias got me, and I didn't really look at the menu and see what we were getting and this and that. Just walked in, sat down, and ordered. And I remember getting some peanut noodles that were just really like, they weren't on the peanut noodles. They were really greasy, and I was like, this just isn't really happening. And as I'm teaching this stuff in an hour, 2 hours to a group of restaurant owners, I'm falling for it myself. So we're all kind of guilty when it comes to these cognitive biases of buying, these psychological biases. We just like, our brain just thinks very, very quickly before we can even process things sometimes. That's just how we're wired. So, but that's that. So hopefully we'll see everybody soon. Everybody, thank you for your support. Jamie and I really appreciate the support. $9.99 this special this week is our beef tips, teriyaki beef tips. And when we say beef tips, they are filet mignon tips. They're not tri-tips. They're not sirloin tips. They're real deal filet, super tender filet tips, grass-fed filet tips, $9.99 this week with rice and broccoli. Starts tonight. To go. So.
$34.99.
Yep. So, Anthony, if you're still on, if you want to reply to Nancy, she wants to know where in Wurtsboro. It's just south of the Wurtsboro exit there. South? Yeah, I guess that would be south of Wurtsboro exit, right on 209. Right on 209. So, and I think your father's, is he closed seasonally? I don't know if he's closed in the winter or no. Just refresh, Anthony, our memories on that. And we're... Pizza nights, I think, already started. Yeah, Anthony I think Pizza nights already started. I think it was posted. I believe it was posted. So, Anthony's also a musician, too. We can't wait to have him back here at the restaurant. We haven't really done music since the pandemic. We did our first music last Thursday with John Simon. If it works out, we will keep going forward with that. But at this point, we have to really monitor our finances and be cautious about what we're doing. And with limited seating, we're at more seating now than we have ever been at. But with limited seating, that's why we have not done music at all, because 7 tables inside to give up a table, to give up the revenue, and then pay several $100s, whatever it is, for musicians. The financials don't work out on it. So that's the situation with that. So we might keep going in the garden if the finances work out on it. Unfortunately, that's the situation that COVID had put us in, to be very conscious about that and to make things, think about things like we don't open for lunches anymore on the weekends. We don't open for brunch. And I know a lot of restaurant owners that are not opening. They've shortened their hours down just because 2 things. They realized they weren't making money during those meals, or they don't have the staff to pull it off. I mean, I know some restaurants that have been open 7 days a week. One of our clients, 7 days a week for 50 years they've been open, and he's contemplating closing a day because he just doesn't have the manpower, the labor to pull it off. And what happens is you just run your staff ragged. And I've never liked my staff to work 6 days. Every now and then staff members say, no, I want to work 6 days. I want to make money. And I was a go-getter when I was younger. I would be like, I'll work 6 days. I'll work 7 days. I'll work 2 jobs 6 days. And I would literally do that. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I would work at the Nevele for breakfast and then drive to Raymond's at the Concord and work dinner. And I didn't have a day off all summer. But, sometimes I get an afternoon off or a morning off. So that's when I go play golf or do something. So I was just a go-getter when it came to getting that paycheck. And so some people are like that, and if you're like that, that's fine. If you want, but everybody's not wired that way. A lot of people are not wired that way at all. They are wired to relax, take vacation their first week on the job, unfortunately, and not work that much. So some people are wired like that. There are a lot of great employees out there, and we have a great team. But some people are wired like, well, I just started. When's vacation? When is this? Like, I'm working a little too hard. I think I told a story a couple weeks ago about one of the kids that I kind of got a little down on, and literally let him know, like, that's a crappy move what you did, And he was, my father doesn't talk to me like that, even talk to me like that. And yeah, sometimes we need to talk to our kids like that and teach them responsibility and finish what you started, and and hold true to your word and things like that. And it's just not taught enough. And I definitely know it's not really taught enough in schools. It's not really part of the curriculum. So teachers that do teach it, awesome job on that, because that's a great thing to instill into our young workforce that's going into the workforce, into the labor field, into the job market, because things don't typically come easy. So not everybody can just get lucky. So, and I was was taught a long time ago by one of the first chefs, my first mentor. He goes, Marcus, it's all hard work or it's all luck. There's no in between in the restaurant industry. All hard work or all luck. He goes, you just see some people who just have it all in the restaurant industry, have no idea what they're doing. They just got lucky, and then the other people will bust their butt to get to where they have to go. It's all luck or it's bust your butt. So that stuck with me for many, many, many years. So let's see. All right, so that is it. I'm going to get going. It's 9 o'clock. Courtney should be walking to the office, and her and I do our Monday briefing. We get on the phone with our VAs and rock and roll with that. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you soon. And everybody, thank you for the support. Jamie and I truly appreciate the support. Really, honestly, appreciate the support because we wouldn't be here without you. And Deb, I will hopefully talk to you later today if you're free. We used to run our Chef on a Mission radio show podcast on Deb's network. Deb had a great network, so I want to catch up with Deb. And Deb, we're creating more content now than ever. So would love to get back in distributing our podcast and radio show with you. So let's talk this afternoon and see if we can get back on. And I think Deb plays a lot of our replays, so about Chef on a Mission radio. So that is that's the exciting part. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Got to get going. Got to keep on schedule, and we'll talk to you later. Have a great day.